Hello everyone, the story I'm going to share today is Emperor Yu Tames the Flood. Yu the Great was born and lived around more than 4,000 years ago. He was a descendant of the Yellow Emperor. Yu's birth was miraculous. Before he was born, one day his mother saw a meteor streaking across the sky, and at night she had a meteor in her hands, and she communicated with it by means of her soul. Next, she swallowed it, and not long after, Yu was born. According to the legend, 4,000 years ago, the water god was angry with opening such a big hole in the sky that the rain poured straight down like a river, submerging the earth for many years. Floodwaters were everywhere, submerging farmland and destroying houses, and a lot of people became homeless. When Yu's father was summoned by Emperor Shun to control the flood, Gun used the method of building dams to enclose the water. Yet, as the dams were made of soil, they could not hold back the surging water. Eventually, the dams collapsed, and flooding became even more severe. Gun ended in failure after having tried for 9 years to control the flood. When Yu grew up and saw people were suffering terribly from the flood, he was determined to bring it under control. When Emperor Shun went to inspect the flood in person, he met Yu and was impressed by Yu's extraordinary bearing. Shun thought that Yu was different from other people, and he would do something great in the future. So he gave an order to Yu to take over his father's unfinished task to control the flood. Yu was very happy to take over the task. He was very smart and could endure hardships. He led a group of people to find out the reasons for the previous failures of water control. He led people across mountains and rivers to the source of Yellow River, and he made overall inspection and the upper and lower reaches of Yellow River. During the investigation, he found that Yellow River has many branches besides the main riverbed. Thus, he found out the reason why his father's method of controlling the flood didn't work. Therefore, he decided to use the method of dredging, deepen and widen the main riverbed of Yellow River, open the tributaries, then raise the embankment, so that once the water level rose, it would flow into the mainstreaming along the various rivers and flow to the sea. After they had made the plan, Yu personally led his assistants and people to start his 13-year-long flood control project. They slept in the open fields, wearing rough clothes, ate plain food, and trekked across the mountains regardless of the weather. Because they worked hard in the muddy land every day, their legs were swollen. Besides the hardship they endured, their lives were also in danger. Once, while they were inspecting the river, suddenly there was a lightning and thunder, and instantly a violent storm came. Mountain torrent erupted. A royal flood swept away many people working with Yu. During the 13 years, he passed his home 3 times, but was so busy that he didn't even stop in. Another time, they came to Qinglong Mountains, which extended from east to west, to Songshan Mountain, which is towering and steep, like a tall screen made by nature. In the middle of Songshan Mountain, there was a narrow nature waterway with 9 twists and turns. When flash floods broke out, the water roared and washed over the narrow waterways, hitting the stone banks, and being at risk of overflowing at any time, thus endangering the safety of the surrounding people. Yu decided to concentrate his efforts on widening, deepening, and strengthening this waterway. The hard rocks had worn out the workers' tools, and many people were either injured by falling rocks or had fallen down the mountain. But he still didn't flinch and insisted on making better waterway out of the mountain. With the unremitting efforts, a wide waterway was finally dug through the middle of the mountain, forming a situation where the two walls faced each other and the mountain torrents could rush downstream smoothly and would no longer pose a threat to the surrounding people. In 13 years, Yu and his workers had traveled all over China. The rivers that were prone to flooding were dredged, and the flood that was congested in the mountains was channeled into the sea. Yu's waterways provided a favorable source of water for the common people to farm. Many fertile lands and soil appeared after the water had left, and people could grow crops again, and again live a life in peace and contentment. Generations of descendants have praised the Yu's achievements in controlling the water. When Shun was old, he looked for an heir. Yu had made great achievements in controlling the water, and had thus won the hearts of the people. Everyone elected him. So Shun abdicated the throne and had Yu become the first emperor of Xia dynasty. Thank you very much for listening to the story. More touching stories will be ready for you if you just subscribe it. Thank you again.